So, to start off our blog, we will first need to install Mongoose. And a great way to get started working on a new project in Node.js is to use the npm init command. And what this guy will do is let us walk through and create a package.json file. Now, a package.json file I'm not going to get into all the details of. I'll let you go ahead and read up a little bit on npm and about the package.json file yourself. But we're going to create this file because we will use it to declare our application dependencies and easily define them and control which versions we want to use going forward. So we can just hit enter and walk through each of these. We don't really care too much about any of the prompts. So we'll just accept the defaults here for now, and it's going to ask us if it's okay. We'll say yes, so just hit enter all the way through. Now, if we show what is in our directory, we see that we have a package.json file. So there it is. So let's take a look at what it produced. So here it is. It's just a JSON object with the defaults that we just specified. We're going to make a couple changes. The first is we're going to say that this is a private package.json, which means npm will prevent us from publishing this back to npm, so we don't accidentally publish our application. And that's the main thing we want to change. Now, I mentioned we need to declare some dependencies, and we could do that manually by editing the package.json file again, but npm also allows us to install a package like so. Now, if we install it this way, we'll be able to use Mongoose, but it won't be added to our package.json. So to automatically have it added to our package.json file, we can pass the save flag when we install. Let's see what happens. Great, so we installed Mongoose, and let's take a look at what is inside our package.json file now. If we scroll down here, we can take a look at dependencies and see that npm was nice enough to add Mongoose for us. So we didn't have to declare this and write this out ourselves. We can just use the command line interface, and npm automatically adds the dependencies we needed with the latest version specified. Okay, so we installed Mongoose. Let's test it out and see if it's working. So we'll take a peek. We see that we have a new directory added by npm called node modules, and inside node modules is where all of our dependencies live. So let's create an app. We'll call it app.js, and we will import the Mongoose module by using the require statement. And let's see if this works as we expect. We'll just log the version of Mongoose. This is a good test file. So let's write this file and exit. Now we can execute our file by passing it to the node executable. And when we run it, we see output 3.6.15, which is the version of Mongoose that we have. So we're all set. We know we installed it correctly, and we can move forward. So let's open up our app.js file again. And we'll get rid of this guy. And let's go ahead and connect to MongoDB. So to connect to MongoDB, we can use the mongoose connect method and give it a MongoDB URI. So in this case, we'll just connect to localhost. We're running on the local 27017 port, so I don't even need to specify that. We'll just say mongoose.connect. We'll pass it a callback. If an error occurs, we'll definitely need to stop and just fail because we know something is wrong. Maybe MongoDB isn't running or something like that. Otherwise, we know we're okay and we'll be able to continue. So let's just see if we connected. Let's just say something fun. And Mongoose disconnect right away because we're not doing anything else right now. Okay, so let's save this and see if we can connect to a locally running MongoDB instance. So once again, we will pass app.js to the node executable and run it. And it says we connected. So great, we have MongoDB running. Mongoose is able to connect, and that means we're able to continue with our blog. So again, let's open up app.js, and we'll use Express now to start up a basic web server. But you may have noticed we don't actually have Express installed yet, do we? So let's exit out of here. npm install express. We'll save it again. Okay, we installed Express. We'll open up our app.js file. Now this line will work. So after we connect to MongoDB, let's go ahead and create our app. So our app equals Express. This creates an HTTP server that we can use to serve our blog. And just to test out the app, we will add a route. And a route will take the URL that was entered in your browser. And when you hit enter, a request goes to our server. The Express server takes that route and finds a match, and whichever match is found, the function passed to the route will get executed. So in this case, this function will be executed whenever a request is made to the root of our website. And so to test this out, we'll use the response object, we'll execute send on it. And we'll just send a message. We'll say, 200, that means HTTP OK. Hello, Mongoose blog is what we'll send. Let's get rid of the disconnection. We'll just stay connected right now. And there's only one last thing we need to do, and that is to start up our app, we need to execute the listen method on it, and we need to listen on a specific port. So let's listen on port 3000. And it accepts a callback as well. So once we're listening, this callback will be executed, and let's log a message to tell us that we are ready to go and where the blog is running. Okay, so we are all set. Once we run this, we should have Mongoose connected, as well as an Express app, very basic Express app, set up and running and ready to respond to our requests. So let's test that out. So we'll run our app again as always. It says we're listening on localhost 3000. So let's switch over and take a peek. Hello, Mongoose blog. We're in business. It worked as we expected. That's great. So let's move on to the next step.